Welcome to the Babies in Business Podcast. Join your hosts, Rachel and Avram Gonzalez, real-life parents and business partners. Each week on Babies in Business, Rachel and Avram create a space for entrepreneurial parents to find their own way. They'll dive into insights on topics like leadership, efficiency, self-awareness, budgeting, and human psychology as they nurture their family and build their business. Here's your hosts, Avram and Rachel.
Sometimes we spend our days in the office in the bedroom.
Wow.
You knew that I was up to something.
I never know what's going to come out of your mouth. So
Yeah. We are recording in bed. Just want to let that be known. We don't have our podcast studio reset up yet. If you've been a long-time listener, you remember that we were recording in the garage.
Right.
Underneath a storage rack.
Right.
That was surrounded by painter's canvas.
And this is the most sound dampened room in our house right now.
Yeah, because, there's an office with one piece of furniture and a chair in it that would not do so great for the acoustics.
No. So we're working on that. So
Fridays in the office for the Gonzaleses do look a little different.
Yep.
Today, being in bed while sharing this with you is one thing, but not the main point of what we wanted to share.
Yes.
We want to invite you into a different reality in how you dedicate parts of your week to growing your business.
Yeah. And to not have burnout or wanting to escape your life, that kind of feeling. Or needing a vacation from your life.
Yeah. Raise your hand if you've ever felt like there was no end to your week, that you might put the babies down for bed and there is still more stuff to be doing. You get to Friday, sweet Friday, and you're like, oh, the babysitter's coming over. Let's go out to dinner. You look at each other and you're like, we must? Question mark, and then you nod and say, we will. And then Saturday morning arrives.
And you are punished.
And you are punished by no rest, right? Weekends with toddlers, there's no rest.
No.
It's playtime, right? These are,
These weekends are your children's memories.
I love that quote.
Loved that quote, and it really keeps things in the mind frame sometimes that I need, that, gosh, kids just want to play and they want memories with you. So it can be balls out on the weekend.
Yeah, so it's like, where's your rest day? There is none when life is like that. We shared in a previous podcast about date day and how we've changed things up. And that podcast was about how our mornings go. It's about going to the gym together, which we never got to do before. It's about going and having a nice breakfast with each other while we still have the energy.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the day. It's a slow start to the day.
Uh-huh.
It's wonderful.
Unlike date night where you're trying to rally the energy after a really long week.
Yeah, and if you stay out late, you will definitely be punished.
Oh my God, if you stay out late, you are screwed.
And if you know, you know.
Uh-huh. And so we started several months ago, even before date day, we started treating our Fridays very different.
Yeah, it's a very much guarded day. We don't take meetings on this day. We don't do actual work for our clients on this day. We don't actually have any kind of team management on this day. There's all sorts of things that make this day a different day. The pace is different. We start it slower, like we said. But we also, we get to spend really good quality time, not only with each other, but working on our business, like doing the things that are going to move the needle, having these strategy meetings with each other about how are we going to move our business forward, what are the activities that we're going to do to bring in and attract new business.
Yes.
We record our podcasts. There's so many things that we do, but what's really cool about it is though we work, and it could be in our business or maybe it's for us unpacking a little bit or
some home
organizing some stuff around the house. That's also beneficial, but it's like, what matters to you? Whatever you're doing that fills you up and gives you that bit of rest or accomplishment could be just the thing that you need. And instead of feeling like, oh man, I didn't do anything for the business, you could just sit in it and be grateful that you have this time. And instead of making progress or whatever things in your head, whatever those things are that mean progress or look like progress to you, maybe rethinking that rest is beneficial.
The to-do list is endless.
Yeah.
So I think we spent our first few years in business being trapped by the to-do list.
Absolutely.
And, when we've discussed this a lot, when you have kids, then it shrinks the time that's available down even more, and you got to get really scrappy with it.
Yeah.
We recorded this incredible episode on a concept called Parkinson's Law. We put it in the show notes. I would highly recommend that because that was the mindset shift that most impacted our change from looking at productivity, which is the things that we do,
Correct.
into efficiency, which is how much we can do with limited time.
Yeah. Limited time, resources, whatever that is, whatever your resources, and it's most often time, energy, and money.
Yeah. We got good at being scrappy with sometimes as little as 15 or 20 hours of work time in a week.
Correct.
So when our time started opening back up again by putting our children in Montessori instead of them being at home with a nanny part-time,
Yep.
what happened was we realized we could get everything done that needed to be done in the business, because both Rachel and I, we're still wearing some hats that require us to be there for the day-to-day.
Absolutely.
Our goal long-term is to ascend beyond that,
Right.
to hire and train a team to do the things that are day-to-day so we can be even more strategic and have greater impact. But we are not there yet.
Correct.
Monday through Thursday, we accomplish all of those things.
Yes.
And we do that between the hours of about 9:30 and 2:30.
Yes.
So we can get all of the most important work done in 20 to 25 hours a week, which leaves Friday.
Yes.
So this has been a journey to get here. I don't want you to get discouraged if you are still in the day-to-day and really in it.
Right.
Because we have so many episodes we've recorded in the past. We'll share them in the show notes.
Yeah.
We shared Parkinson's Law.
Yeah.
We talked about Profit First. We talked about clockwork principles.
Yeah.
We'll put 5 to 10 past episodes in there that are all about efficiency, systems, and getting back your time. Hiring virtual assistant could be a big deal for you.
Yes.
That's another powerful way to gain back your time. We have now got to the place where Fridays are sacred and they are dedicated to these things that are only the things that fill us up.
Yep.
Like recording the podcast,
Yep.
doing strategy. It's fun to make sales,
Right.
right? But I still don't schedule sales calls for Friday,
Correct.
right? But working primarily on the business. So we have spent several Fridays before we moved. I think a lot of the months of like June and July.
Yeah.
Fridays, we cranked out so many new systems
Processes
and
and systems. Yes.
processes for the business that have our team just like we recorded in the previous episode. Rachel mentioned when we grew beyond our home.
Yeah.
I was recording a bunch of videos.
Yes.
I recorded in the span of 1 week 6 months worth of videos. Like what would normally take me 6 months, I did it in 1 week.
Yes.
We built the systems to support that process on a Friday.
We sure did. What I do in our business is one of the things that I do is the project management. And with the project management is the creation of systems. So I make a list of the systems that we need to, or the system or process, whatever it is that we're working on. I make a list of those things that we need to create because I need your assistance and your vision and strategy that goes into that. So I make the list, and then when we get to a Friday, or I tell you that we need to do this, then we schedule out that time on a Friday and we can really blow it out because it does need both of us there, and it is something that builds into our business.
Yeah. And it's easier to create these things when you have protected time.
Yes.
Because it can be really stressful when there are other things that are demanding or asking for your attention.
Yes.
And you know that these critical things that you're working on the business, they're very important. If you kick them down another day or two or a week or two, that's a whole other week of delay in growth and buying time back for your business. And so again, the sacredness of our Fridays to dive deep and do these things without distraction has been impactful.
Yes. Well, and being able to build these systems. So what does this do for me as a project manager? If I have these systems built out, I can actually start planning out all of the tasks for our team to make sure that all of these things that we're doing for our clients are in the system, and I can be 6 months in advance.
Yes.
But it does require knowing the strategy for each client, how we're going to move through our strategy, and when things will transition so that I can plan those accordingly. And then I have my sheets of how I make sure that happens. So the lack of systems has been a huge bottleneck for me. So being able to dedicate one day where I know each week we can visit systems and processes is wonderful, because it helps us have this forward momentum, and it will support us in our goal of being a bigger business, meeting these milestones that we have, because we need systems to support that.
Yeah.
And then we also have systems for supporting these new clients that we intend to bring on.
Yep.
That are coming our way.
Yeah. I'm going to drop some knowledge on you right here around, like, so what is a system and a process? And maybe we
Yeah.
can kind of wrap it up here, because I want this to be tangible for people.
Yeah.
Like, what are the things that we're spending our time on? There are 3 different tools that we use and deploy frequently that we learned from Clockwork, which we've shared a lot about, that buy back your time.
Yes.
Okay. So firstly, what is the difference between a system and a process? A system is like the way that you do a thing. So you might have heard of the acronym SOP, Standard Operating Procedure.
Yeah. So it's like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It happens like this.
This is how you do the thing.
Yeah.
Right? The process is the 10,000 foot view of how something moves all the way through each of those SOPs, right? So if we think about a new client that comes into our system, we have an onboarding process. There are a ton of steps inside the onboarding process that touch multiple team members. So
yeah, that's the big point.
Right?
There is, when it touches multiple team members, they need support.
So one of the tools that we use and create a lot to bring cohesiveness to the team is, if we're starting something new, we will create a process map. So think about like a bubble chart
Yeah.
that shows, here's where it starts, and then here's the major steps. Like,
Yes.
This-
If this, then that.
well, that's the next tool.
Okay.
Not there yet.
Oh, right.
Not there yet, right?
Right.
So the process map, people can see the main parts. So if we were to think about like the Babies in Business podcast, just as a top level thought, you would see this map. Maybe Kim,
And
who
we
edits
can-
our thing, can put this in the show notes.
I think we will put something in here so that when we're talking about this, instead of just conjuring up in your mind and not really knowing, we will put something tangible in here so that when you're listening to this, please don't do it while you're driving. Look at this when you're sitting down, but it will be helpful for you.
Yeah, so if you look at the process map for our podcast, there's several steps. One is the ideation and brainstorming.
Yep.
Another major step is the actual like recording.
Yep.
Another one is the editing. Another one is all the copywriting that goes into it. Another one is all of the design work.
Yep.
Another one is the actual publishing and promotion of it.
Yep. So it is the step that it takes from origin to completion.
Yep.
So it would be the thing that someone looks at to understand what it looks like to be completed. So they would know from this point to this point, regardless of their involvement in it, it is not fully done until this happens
Yes.
at the very end.
And that leads into another tool. So the first tool, the process map. The second tool is the IPO.
Yep.
We've gotten pretty loose about what this looks like since we learned it, so I'll keep it very brief, and I don't think we'll have an example of it for you in the show notes. But IPO stands for information, permissions, and outcome.
Sure.
So what Rachel was just sharing about is you need to make it really clear what done looks like for your team member.
Yeah.
Okay? But you also need to be clear about what is the information required, like what is the context of the task that they're to accomplish.
Yep.
What are the permissions, meaning like what decisions can they make with or without you?
Right.
What kind of access do they need to tools or the resources in order to accomplish it? And then outcome, what are like the check boxes of what this looks like? Are there examples you can attach?
Yes.
So what we've done in the past is, and when we first started, we just throw all this stuff in a Google Doc.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy. You can share a Google Doc with somebody. This is everything that goes into it. It also eliminates the need to have a super detailed step-by-step SOP.
Exactly.
So a lot of
Sometimes
times,
we'll attach a video
that's
at
what I
this
was
point.
going to say. We will attach a video that shares.
And sometimes the video can be, and maybe not at this step, but it can be something like, this is how the task is done.
Yes.
And it's a screen share of you doing the thing.
Yes.
Now, we do things on the computer, so if yours is a physical thing, it may be someone videoing you.
Yes.
Taking a video of you doing that physical thing.
We had a house cleaning client at one point that had videos about all of the individual things. Like, this is what a refrigerator clean out looks like and how it should be done. And they were videoing that process.
And this is what done looks like. That is where
Yes.
you'd be able to do that. I want to actually add one other tool that we use that I actually find to be most beneficial.
Oh.
And that's the decision tree.
That's the third one that I want to talk about.
Well, I want you to tell us about the decision tree.
Okay.
And we can show you an example of this. I have one because this is where there is branching decisions. This is the tool that will help most entrepreneurs with the biggest problem that we have. And the biggest problem is that things get boomeranged back to us. And then we begin to wonder, well, can anybody else do this task at all? Are they qualified? What is this? Why is it coming back to me?
Why bother hiring somebody if I have to make the decision every time?
If I have to touch it anyway. So this is one of the things that I think we use the most when it comes to helping people be independent and be able to do the thing without us touching it all the time.
Yes.
And coming in for reviews and you approving something, that they have approval authority for certain things.
Yes.
Based on what we're going to see.
Yes. So a decision tree is, if you think about a flow chart,
Yeah.
it is a flow chart,
Yep.
right? And so the decision tree starts with whatever the decision might be.
Our decision is like someone wants a change to their website. So
Sure.
they fill out a website change request form on our website. So then from that, then the person receiving that request would do X, Y, and Z based off of certain things.
Right. Yeah. So
Is it straightforward?
Yeah.
Can you do the thing? Awesome.
then
Go and
just
do
do
the
it.
thing. If it's not straightforward and it's ambiguous, well, then you need to do this next step. If it's this, then it might have a different question. Okay, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Well, what about this? Okay, then you need to push it to somebody else to do for approval.
yeah. And so a decision tree, we walk through in depth all the branching logic that I would make in order to make that decision.
Yeah.
And what we found is that almost all of the stuff has been taken care of by mapping it out into a decision tree. You are teaching them how to think like you think. So it is as simple as sitting down and mapping it out and thinking about all of the, because as an owner founder, all of the
Implications, maybe?
all of the little stuff that is an exception.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know,
absolutely. All the things that you take into consideration when making this decision.
Yes, and your team members are not the expert on it like you are.
Sure.
So by you developing a decision tree, you teach them how to think about it like you think about it. So I like
Wonderful.
to just write out the decision tree on a piece of paper. I take a picture of it, and then we store it in Google Drive. Either store it on its own in Google Drive or attach it directly to a task inside.
Organization. Organization is a whole other topic we might
whole
have.
other topic, right? But those three things, the process map allows the team to see where their task fits in together with the others.
Yep. In
Right.
the whole 10,000-foot view.
Yep, where their team member's task ends and where theirs starts and ends. And then the IPO is give people a clear understanding of how to get to where they need to go without giving them all of the steps. Your team members are smart.
Yep.
Allow them to just get to the outcome. That's what you want. You don't totally care how they do it. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Right?
That's where you get the freedom.
Right.
We've talked about that.
And then the third thing is this decision tree. So we ended up sharing a lot more with you in this episode than we had originally planned.
Yeah.
The show notes will be a powerful place for you to go visit.
I think this episode is such a big nugget of information for you to up-level your business with these different tools if you're struggling and you find yourself getting boomeranged back into decision-making or something like that. This is what we spend our Fridays on.
Yep.
So that's what we're advocating for your business.
Yes.
Is that maybe if you're finding yourself in the weeds and in these different jobs that you maybe don't want to do and don't light you up, Avram is going to be teaching a workshop, and we're really excited about this. Hiring a VA. Maybe you need something like that. Maybe you need some tools so that you can help other people to understand what needs to be done. So having the ability of 1 day a week or whatever it is that you can carve out right now.
2 hours.
Exactly. Whatever you can carve out. Ours is a day that you can build into your business, and you can get some clarity, and then you can start using these tools, buy back some of your time by hiring somebody else, have these tools go to work for you. You will find that you have more sanity, you have more ease, you really want to show up and do the things that you do because you're not in the weeds of the things that you hate and that absolutely douse your fire.
We did a whole episode, I believe, on hiring a VA, and there's some blog posts on our website.
Yep.
So we'll put all that stuff in there. You know, this has done such big things for our mental landscape and our well-being. You don't need to be working 24/7.
No.
Most people that are entrepreneurs are pretty driven, and you will spend a lot of time working in the business, but there's a lot to be said for finding time to do other things, finding time for rest, and the only way to accomplish that is by executing and using some of the stuff we talked about today.
Yeah, so we're really excited to put these in the show notes. We'll make sure we have an example for those things, and maybe there are going to be some trainings virtually that you can attend if you're not here locally in Albuquerque later on this year maybe, or even next year. But yeah, really excited to share more with you.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Make sure to check out the podcast notes in the description of this episode and go check things out and start applying them to your life. If you got questions, by the way, you can always reach us at hello@babiesandbiz.com. We are looking for ideas and new topics and things that we could answer for you and turn into an entire podcast episode. So reach out to us with that kind of stuff. We appreciate you for listening. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Babies in Business podcast. Who do you know that would benefit from hearing this episode? Share it with them and post about it on social media. You can find the show notes for this episode, free downloads, and connect with the rest of the community at babiesandbiz.com. We'll see you next time.